So I'd like you to introduce yourself, your names, where you come from, and what you do. But for me, I'm called Alan. I work with ETG, a company that deals in agricultural inputs like fertilizers and the drugs. Just like I have already told you when we are beginning, I'm called Alan. So you continue also introduce yourself to me. Okay, thank you very much. My name's Vicent. I am 28 years of age. I come from the village called Kamavale A, Kamavale Sub-County, Karangula, Kamavale Parish. I come from the village called Kamavale A, Kamavale Parish, Karangula Sub-County, and the Kabarole District. I grow onion and coffee. I'm so happy to meet you. I want you to take me through the last time you bought inputs to be put in the garden. What did you buy? How much did you buy it? And what were you using to use them? What were you going to use them? So take me through that journey of how you bought those things, and still tell me what were you going to use them for and how did you use them. The last time I bought inputs to be put in the garden, like I've told you that I deal in onions and coffee. The first thing I bought was a sprayer, a bomber sprayer, so that I can use it to spray. Because without a bomber or without a sprayer, there is nothing you can use to spray the liquid drugs and also the liquid fertilizers. After buying the sprayer, then I bought the fertilizers to be put in the garden. There is a fertilizer called Expresso. It's in a pellet form, solid pellet forms. So you put it around the coffee tree, the coffee plantation, and you cover it with small soil. It is Mr. Patrick that came and directed us to the agent. Is he at a place called Nyabusu? I went and bought 16 kilograms. But I don't remember how much a kilo was because I did not rate. But I think each kilogram it was 15,000. Then I bought another drug to spray the onions. So for each of the onions, I never bought the whole drug for the season. Just for me, whenever I could see the onions are missing some minerals, then I could go and buy that drug to spray. I could just go and tell them I need the drug to spray on the onions. They are lacking some minerals. So do you still remember the names of the drugs you bought? Yes, the one I bought first, the one which was in the form of pellets. They are white pellets. It was called Espresso. So the second one, you don't remember the names? That one I have forgotten the name, but it was green in color. Maybe I'll remember later. So when did you last buy the medicine, the drugs for the garden? Last month is when I last bought the drugs. Oh, so I've remembered the name of the second drug I bought for the onions. It's called Rapid Grow. Is there a person that you consult who tells you that go and buy this or buy the other one? Is he there? Yes, is there. Yes, they are there, but they are not too many because most of the time we don't get time to get those people. We don't get a chance to get those people. But I thank this company. There is your worker, your employee who came to us. So in case you are growing like coffee, you call him and he comes and gives you advice. He can even direct you which drug to use. So when you call him, he comes. That time I used not to have a smartphone. I used to have the button phone. But he directed us an app that you put the image of your plant, and then but it is in English. Then when you put it there, they will tell you what mineral that is missing in your plant, and then you go and buy that exact mineral. So when you got the app, have you ever used it to consult anything and they told you what? No, at the beginning I used not to have the phone, the smartphone. But now I have gotten the smartphone, and I remember my onions, the leaves were as if they are burnt. Yeah, they are looking like as if they were burnt. So I put there the image and they told me which medicine to buy. Kama Katonda asonyiwa guno gwenkola nagwo mulimu guyamba abantu, guyamba osaasira. Apart from using the app, is there someone who is dealing in those inputs that you consult and he advises you? Yeah, is there the one who is dealing in those agro inputs, the fertilizers and seeds and the medicine, the drugs? Is called Patrick, because he came and he taught us. So he came and taught us how to apply the fertilizers on coffee. Just like most of the people in our place, they don't do what he told us, because for them they say, for me I'm making money, I don't have time. And some of those those agriculture guiders at our division, it's sometimes very hard to get them. Apart from the man called Patrick, who is your staff in your company, is the one who helps us most of the time. So your experience with Patrick and other people whom you consult, how is it? How are you going? So how my experience with Patrick is so good because he's the person whom you can call even when he's not in place to come. He will tell you the day he may be able to come, because now for us in our place is hilly, mountainous. People used not to come that side except Patrick. For him, if he cannot come the time you have called him, he will agree with you and you schedule a day that he will be able to come. So for Patrick, he can come for free to give you advice. But others, they used to even ask more money. They could add more money in the products because they have come to give us advice. But I can tell you actually, we have even stopped using those other people except this Patrick. So another thing, so another thing, when you're buying a new product, how are you always confident that this medicine I'm going to use it very well? So for the new drug where I buy it, they always give us direction on how to use it. For example, they may tell you you put 2 bottle caps in maybe 1 liter or in 5 liters. Then another thing that I always consider is the expiry date. When I see, maybe I always check the expiry date. When I see maybe the medicine, when the medicine is expired or is near to expiration, I just know this one will spoil my onion, so I don't take it. Then another thing, they taught us on how to use this drug. They taught some of the drugs, they taught us on how to use them. So I know that, for example, this one of the coffee, I know you put it around the coffee plantation, then you put some soil and some leaves. So when they give you that new drug, when you take it, do you always have confidence that you're going to use it, it will work for you? Yes. But maybe another problem, the last time I bought the medicine, I did what they told me to do and how they directed me to use it. But the truth is, it did not bring out the use very well. Because the one who had the a veterinary shop, the shop for agricultural products at our village, he was not well registered. So sometimes he used to sell us expiry medicine for plants. That's when I called Patrick, and then Patrick told me to stop buying drugs from there. Then he directed us the place where to buy good drugs. I got a chance, and the demonstration was done from my own garden. The testing garden plantation, it was planted at my place. Uh, and now they tested from my home, and most of other farmers, they always come to my place, and they find that this medicine is stronger, has has a much stronger effect, positive effect on the plantation than other drugs that we've been using. So that they call me to go and show them how to use it. Most of the time, those farmers, when they come, when they are in, maybe they are growing coffee, so what they do, they collect the money when their coffees are at the same age, same level, at the same level or same stage of growth. So they collect the money and they give it to me. I also consult Patrick first, because in our place there is no many agents. So I consult Patrick, then Patrick gives me the direction or what to do next. So how about when Patrick is not around and you may not be able to see him, and you buy a drug to be used in the garden? Do you have any other person beside Patrick that you can take this drug to consult and know whether it is good or not good? The truth is, I do not have any other person. Instead, I just use my smartphone, but I have no any other person. Oh, you use the smartphone? Yes, I use the smartphone, and I see from the phone. But there are sometimes when you find that you don't have money for data on the phone. So when I don't have data, it becomes hard for me. Mm. So let me, okay, I want to know the past time, the previous time. You last bought what? And I want you to explain to me that, like, this month I bought this, and this is how the amount of money I bought it, and how it worked. Uh, Let me start with the last month. Last month I first bought the rapid growth, the one for vitamins. Then I bought another medicine that prohibits heat and too much temperatures. For us in our area, those mountain areas, when it rains too much, sometimes there is heat that comes. There is a lot of heat that comes from the soil. Yeah, yeah, I remember I used 200,000 to buy medicine, to buy those drugs only for the onions. So, and for the case of the coffee, we have been in the season of reaping. So when you are reaping, for me, I usually not put drugs, not even put chemicals during the reaping period. So we have been reaping, and that's why I have not been putting much in the coffee. Because my coffee is still teenager, is still younger. So I usually don't put in during the plantation, during the reaping time, because it is still younger, not that old that needs to depend much on the fertilizers and the drugs. But for the coffee, I usually buy every after 3 months, and I put the fertilizers there. So the onions you buy, for the whole season. The onions you buy for the whole season. Yeah, for the onions I buy for the whole season, but coffee I buy every 3 months. Yeah, for the onion, it is possible to buy for the whole season, because we have some groups where you go and borrow money. So when they give you the money, you go and buy at once for the whole season. So you buy at once so that you will not get disturbed in the midst of the season. So this time, how do you always decide that I'm going to buy this and I'm going to buy it at that place? So where do you always get the decision from? Yes, for the issue of the fertilizers, I always look at how my plantations are looking. And also there are some other farmers at our place, though they do not know too much, but sometimes I ask them. But mostly I use my smartphone and they tell me what to do. I'm not so much educated, but I put there the picture of the garden, and they will tell you what drug you need or what fertilizers you need. Then I go and buy the drug that they have told me. Yeah, and most I always consider much where I buy the fertilizers and the drugs from, the exact shop where I buy it, because like I've told you earlier before that some they used to we used to buy fake things, because people at our area they I don't know what is happened, they are evil. Yeah, that is a big word, but they I don't know what they do. I don't know how they are, but sometimes you tell them that my onions are heated up, and for them they only give a medicine or drug which is for another thing, not for what exactly you tell them. So that's why I always consider and put much emphasis the quality of the shop where I'm buying the drug. Because what they give you cannot help you, those people at our village. So I put the shop where I buy the drug from as the first priority, the quality of the shop. Yeah. So for sure, what do you now consider on that place where you buy the drugs? Oh, like now I have told you, they told us that the person who should supply you the drugs, first of all, is that person known? What is the quality of the drugs that person is supplying? And then the price that person is selling. And some people, they always need a lot of profits, so you find they are selling the same thing, but one is selling it at a higher cost and another one is a bit low cost. But for me, even if you add 1,000 and if I calculate and that 1,000 can do for me something, then the truth is I just abandon you and go and buy from another person. So that additional money that you always impose on his drugs can also make me decide where to buy. For you, consider much the prices. Yeah, I consider much the prices because for us farmers, when you put much money and then at the end the yields are smaller, you find that you are making losses. So you need to bargain a lot. If it is possible, you can even kneel down until that person deduct for you something. Yeah, you will kneel down until that person gives you what you want. How about where you're going to get them from? So you are meaning about the transport and the distance? Yes. Yeah, that one is also too hectic. There is a way it enters in my budget. For example, now we are heading to holidays. The prices of the transport are always hyped up. For example, from our place, you need 5,000 to travel to the place where to buy the drug. And that is when you are a person alone. So when you add more things, even the money is added. So there is a way how it is disturbing me, but since it is a job, you have to find a way of how to do it. Eh, So don't you consider the name of the drug? Now, just because for us, like for me, I didn't go so much in education. I just explained to you my problem, and for you give me the remedy. You give me the drug that is working on my problem. But some drugs like espresso, the one I know, you cannot just give me anything. When you give it to me, I'll still tell you that this is not the true, it's not the truth that I'm looking for. It's not the one. So what you do, I'll explain to you the one I'm looking for and how it is looking like. Even the one for this medicine called rapid grow, that drug, for it, still I know it. When you give it to me, I will know that this is the one. And when you give me something I like, when it is not the one, still I will tell you this is not the one, because for it I know. But other kinds of drugs, I don't know their names, so I just explain to you and you give me what I want. Some names are very hard and not easy to get them. I can't cram them. I can't cram them. What I do is to explain to you what I want to use it for, and for you give me the remedy. So when you are buying, you always buy how? How do you always buy? Do you buy in plenty or in small portions? For me, when God gives me money, I always buy in plenty at once. Because when you keep on buying in small portions, you may find that you put in too much money in transport, and also there is some money when they are selling in small portions. They always add some money. So when you calculate and add, you find that the money you have used is too much compared when you buy in plenty for a full season. You buy once in plenty for a full season. So for me, what I do, I get like 300,000. I buy the drugs for a whole season, and then I settle knowing that the whole season is catered for. Because when I buy in installments, the truth is there is a way it affects me. Because of transport, and they keep on, and they cut into small portions, and you find that you have made a loss. So for you, don't buy in smaller portions depending on the need of the garden. No, for me, I buy in plenty, because those small portions is the way they negatively affect me. In the previous time, I would like you to tell me, when did you get a bad experience while buying fertilizers and drugs? When and what did you buy, and how did it take you, and how did it take you? So I would like you to take me through that story. Oh, yeah, I remember it was February 2nd, February. The date I still remember it. I decided to come to town and buy inputs. I wanted to buy eggplants. I wanted to grow eggplants and also grow onions. I remember very well. I had bought 10 packets for onions, and for eggplants it was 6 packets. So I went and I planted very well in my bed, and I was so happy. They had already told us what to do before you plant those seeds in the bed. So I so in the end, after planting, I thought these big eggplants, what they call biringanya in Uganda, I thought is what this man had given me because it's what I had asked for. But instead, the man had given me these small eggplants of Tula. So when I went back and I told him I wanted the biringanya, instead the man told me that no, for you bought these small eggplants, the Obutura, the so-called Obutura, is what he told me I had bought. So he denied what I asked for. So I just left. So I just left him because I had nothing to do to him. Because he told me that for us, once we sell products, and now for you have already even planted, for us we don't return them to our shop, and see, for you have already even planted, now that is your loss. The truth is, I thought it was bilinganya, the big eggplants. He instead sold to me katunkuma. And for the drug that I bought, I think the problem came from me. I mixed, I reconstituted a concentrated kind of drug, and when I sprayed it on the plants, it spoiled them. But apart from that one, I have not gotten many challenges. And the challenge I previously got it mostly when buying the seeds, but apart from the seeds, other things I not get much challenge. So how about the onions? Did the onions grow well? Yeah, for the onions they grew well, but still, we plant them in the lines. So some lines they did not germinate, but in some lines they germinated. So, and that person, what can you do? Because you are not happy, you don't go back there. So that season, I can assure you that I made losses. So because I did not achieve my targets. Because a packet, when we plant it at least in a hectare, when you plant it in the bed, the one which germinates, when you uproot it and maybe you transplant, you can plant in a full acre. But for that one, even a half an acre, I was not able to plant it. For me, I did all the steps needed, but it is their seeds that was bad. So what did you do when such a thing happened? So such thing when it happened on the onions and the eggplants, what I did, I changed the place where I was buying. I went to another place. So I just waited for another season, and I went and bought. I went and I bought from another place. For that place, I never went back. Even his number I deleted. So the relationship between me and him, it ended. Here they asked, what are the top 3 factors that influence you while you are buying the products, the inputs? The first factor that I consider while buying the inputs is the price. How is the supplier is selling? For example, you may find when someone now is selling the sprayer 200,000, and for me I have 170, and I already made other plans. The truth is I cannot stop other plans that I already planned and then buy your bomber, your spraying bomber. What I do, I go and check from another place, and then I compare with what they are telling me with yours. Then another factor is the issue about the seeds. For the seeds, before I go to buy, I first consult my fellow farmers, how many people have ever bought to that place where I was going to buy, and how did they benefit from what they bought. How did the seeds perform? Because if you do not consider the quality of the seeds, You may buy the seeds and they don't grow, they don't germinate, yet you have put in the money, and then you make losses at the end of the season. Uh, the, those are the factors. How am I standing in the in my pocket, the finance status, me as a farmer? How are you selling your seeds or your other inputs? And maybe another thing is, where am I going to buy those inputs from? Because someone may tell you, let's go to Bundubujo and buy the seeds from there, and you find that you have put in much money. So the transport, I consider it much. How much money do I put in the transport to go and acquire those inputs? So we had reached on the point, we wanted to know what we consider while buying the seeds, and you said the availability of the seeds, the price, and the availability of the money to buy. Yes. And the quality of the seeds. Because in the quality, you said some other things you buy them and they don't germinate. So apart from those things, which other factor do you consider? So another thing is always first consult how do the seeds this supplier is selling, how do they come out, how do they grow well, how do they yield? So I always first consult other farmers. Because you may to go and buy, and then someone do give you, like the way the other person gave to me. You have bought another thing, he gives you another thing, or you have bought another input, but when you try to grow it in the garden, it does not grow, or when it grows, it does not yield well. So I always consider the quality of the seeds and how many people have bought there, and how those seeds they bought there how have they performed in the garden. Another thing, when you want to buy those inputs, what do you always do? Which tactic do you employ to see that you get a fair price? Now for the issue of the fair prices, what I do, I first get like 5 fellow farmers whom I know that they buy from different places. Then I ask them about the prices from where they buy their inputs. So then I compare the prices of those 5 farmers. Then the one who sells at a fair price is where I go. But still, before I decide, I first also consider how much do I have in my pocket. Then I go to the favorable farmer, to the favorable supplier. Because you may find that another supplier is selling the sprayer or the bomber at 22 at 2000 at 220 at 222,000, and yet another one is selling it at 180. So I will not go for the other one with a high price. I'll go to the person whose prices are in line with what I have in my pocket. So do you always visit those shops and you ask about the prices? Yes, I do it, but not I don't mostly do it. I don't always do it. But what I do most is consulting those fellow farmers, and those shops I always visit them when I'm going to buy. I don't usually go there. The truth is, I usually use farmers and those ones who buy from different places. Yeah, for you use farmers most of the time. Yeah, I use farmers most of the time. So do you always have those names of the inputs that you always look for to buy? Just like I told you before, for me I consider what the need in my garden. So for me I don't usually cram those names because they are very hard for me to cram. So the need in my garden decides which name to buy. So I'll come and explain to the supplier, and for him he will give me what I need, what will work on my problem. For example, when I grow a lot of onions and I need the drug that will help me to weed the bushes away. So for me, what I do, I go to the shop and I tell them I want a drug that will take away the weeds from my garden. Then he will tell me this is for this price and the other one is for that price. So he may say that this is of this price, but it's better than the other one. So I always take the one which is better regardless of the price. Because when you always take cheaper things, sometimes you make losses because sometimes they are not of good quality. For me, I don't have that I'm going to buy this or this. For me, I just come with my problem. I explain my problem to you, and when you tell me whether you can work on it. So when you tell me that you can work on it, then we start to talk about the money. We talk about the money and how and the payment mode. Another thing, if maybe an input is well packed and another one is not well packed, does it have any influence to you while you are buying? Can it also influence your decision when you're buying an input? Yeah, the truth is some products have a good package, attractive package, and the truth is it attracts you to buy it. But again, it also have some challenge, because something you may be well packed and attractive, but you buy it and it does not perform to expectation. So you end up buying the cover, which is very attractive, yet the inside input, the real product inside is not good. So you end up making losses. So for me, I always have my question. Yet this thing is looking very nice on the top outside, but does it really work on my problem? For example, if I need minerals to be put in my onions, can it really work? Can it supply those minerals to my onion? That is always my question. Oh, you are just selling to me an attractive package because it is shining and attractive. Yeah, so for you always don't consider the packaging. Yeah, I sometimes consider it, but sometimes I don't consider it. So I do not too much depend on the outside packaging. What I always consider is what is inside. What am I taking is what I always consider. Because the one that is inside is what I need. And also when you have found that you have you have poorly packed your product, your product, still I may not just take it. I have to be sure that it will work. It will perform to my expectation. So even the packaging is also essential. Sometimes there is always a season where you find that you need things, but at a very speed. You need a lot of things. You need this, you need the other one, you need the other one, you need the other one. You need a lot. So how do you always go about it? Oh, sometimes that need can come as a result of maybe a pest or a disease attacks your plantation, and you do not have money, and you need those drugs at a very high speed, yet you do not have the money. So what I always do, since I'm in the group, I always go there in that group and I tell them I have this problem and I don't have money, so you give me the money so I can solve my problem, then I'll pay later. Because we always meet on Wednesday. So when they give me the money, I don't just go to buy those inputs, those drugs. What I do, I first take a picture of how my garden, my plantations are looking like. So I upload it on the app, on the phone. So those people on the phone, they always tell me what is lacking in my plantation and what should I buy in order to correct that disorder. So after they have told me what to do, that's when I go to the market to buy. But sometimes you find that you don't have the money, it has come abruptly, and those people that are selling the inputs, the agricultural inputs at our place, we don't trust them much, so they also don't give us on credit. You find that you need to get money and go and buy somewhere far. So what I always do, when no money, I have to go and get some loans, because now these days there are some abrupt changes that come into our plantation. For example, you grow a coffee plantation, before it is even 6 years, it dries up. So now, for example, my plantation now is in 5 years, but you may find that some of the plant of the coffee plantations, the trees are drying up. So when they are drying up, so what I do, sometimes I call Patrick to consult what to do. I tell him now the plantation has dried, what should I do? Because when I consider when to call the government agriculture guide at the division, you find that those people, they will ask you for for fuel like of 20,000. So I find it very expensive. So what I do, I call Patrick instead. So Patrick becomes the easiest person to approach in case of any challenge, because he even came and taught us about how to apply the fertilizers on the coffee plantations. So he even is the one even directed to us this app. So you find that it is easier to consult him than consulting the other government worker at the division who asks for a lot of money. So what is always the time that you give the person who is to supply you with the inputs? What time do you always give him to see that within that time he has supplied to you the input you want? Oh, for me I always want, when I send you like at this time, maybe it is 9 o'clock, I expect you at 4 o'clock to have reached, because when you take time and you wait for like 1 week or 2 weeks, the onions, you may not get anything, because when they have started rotting, to bring it back, it's not easy. Because now, like for example, like the coffee plantation, when you leave the withered tree in one withered tree of coffee in the plantation, it may affect another one, even another one affect the other one. So that's why we need those drugs very fast, so that we can spray at a very fast rate, so that it does not spread to the full garden. For me, I went when, because they told us there is the drug that you can spray in the evening. So that's why for my want, when I send you in the morning, make sure that at 4 o'clock you bring the drug, so that I can also go that time. Like at 5 o'clock, I go and spray that drug in the evening. But when it is very fast, still I can wait, but not more than a full day, because when I wait for a full day, that one is always difficult for me. Another thing is, What challenges do you face while you are trying to get those quality products that you use? The truth is those quality products are too expensive. Just like they say that quality products sell themselves. The truth that you find that you need to get that money and buy them, but sometimes I don't have that money. So that is one of the challenges. So some of those quality products are very far from where we are. Just like we talked about it in the first beginning. So you need to order, to give in your order and then wait. And you may find that you have overweighted. They come late and you find that you have made losses. So the factors are money and the distance. Yes, because some quality products are very far. So apart from those ones, is there any other disturbing factor? Yeah, another factor is how to get to those quality products. The information about them. Sometimes I don't know which quality products, where do I find them? So it always disturbs me. Just that this of recent now it is now not too much problem because I have this Patrick. So whenever I want, I call him and he will direct me where to go and get those products from. So he gives me the information. So but previously without information, you find yourself have to rotate around until you get the quality product, the quality input, because you don't know where it is, so it takes some time. It takes some time to know where it is. Sometimes you have shops where you do buy, but what happens when you go there and you don't find the product you want and they don't have it? So what happens? So for me, where I buy, I made them my friends. So they always give me two options when I find what I want, they don't have it. If my plantation can wait for like 2 days before spraying, they tell me don't wait, first wait to pay and we bring it for you. Or when my plantations cannot wait, they will give me a telephone number and they direct me somewhere. They tell me when you reach, you call this phone number. and then I go and get that product from there.
Would you say that's the time? Like next year? Next year? Yeah, next year. What was it? Yeah, next year means.
So like where do they mostly tell you to go? They mostly send me to Mpanga market is where they get their
No, till
products
today.
most of the time.
Yeah. So next year is 明年. 明年. How about
But
yesterday?
remember you are coming from Karangura up
Last
there
year.
and you have come to Mpanga
So
market.
去年, yeah. This year. This year. Yeah. Just remember, yeah, yesterday and
No,
today.
but for me, but most of the time I don't come from Karangura to Mpanga because that is too much affecting me financially. So sometimes I say one day cannot kill me, so I wait.
First, you put
So
how
I
much
wait for them to bring for me.
and you could put some days. Then you put
So I wait for them to bring for me, but sometimes they add some money like 2,000. So it takes you a lot of energy to get a good quality product when you find that that product is not in the place where you always buy it from. Yeah, it affects me and it needs more energy, more efforts.
from here. 9月、9月最最好，best time. Best. I would say it's best that I eat ice cream in summer. It's best that
So
fruity.
how do you ship your inputs from where you buy them until they reach your farm? How do you do it? How do you transport them?
Finish here. So, first your title, right? Subject. So, best. Best. That
Well, the first thing, I'm a farmer who has not yet started farming on a very large scale like 10 acres. Now for the onions I always plant like 1 acre. Then for the coffee plantations I have like 3,000, no, 300 trees of coffee.
is subject.
So I always use border border to ship my products to the farm.
明年我想去北京，因为我是北京人，but
So I have not reached that level of using a car.
so briefly I like to ask you something. So which one is the subject? Subject. Yeah. Subject. Yeah. The title. Title. Title.
So what I do, I hire the border border and I follow it. It goes before me and I come after it. So whenever I see that maybe one border border is not enough, so I use 2 border borders.
You don't have subject, just title. Yeah. Yeah, 20, right?
So when we reach home, I made a separate house. Uh, yeah, from I made a separate house because they told us when you maybe put those chemicals in the house where you are staying, a child may come and attach on them, and then he or she may poison himself, him or herself. So that's why I always separate them and I keep them at a distance. But still, even that separate house where I put those inputs, I don't put them on the bare ground. No, I can put something down before I put them, before I stock them inside, so that they are not on the bare ground. So whenever I want, I go and pick, I spray, then I put them back and close the house.
Because we come no, because no, I go another city. Some my hometown is very warm. So we come and no flower. Yeah, we come and see flower and see mountain, river. Yeah, it's nice in spring. In spring, but for some city it's very warm because you see here in China, here have like wind, cold wind. In Victory wind actually very cold wind. We call Victory wind. We come. Yeah, so it's cold. But here, like here like 11 degree. 11 degree is somehow what one? Cool but white. Ready is here, but this one like.
So because for me I stay up there in the hilly areas, that mountainous areas, so you find that from the garden from home, I prepare, like for example, if it is midday, I can prepare myself and reach this side of the city, of the town, at around 2, and then to buy and explain to those suppliers, and they also explain to me what I'm going to do. And sometimes those people, they're giving you well packed products, but you tell them, no, I don't want those well packed products, I want exactly what I have come to ask for, whether it is well packed or not, but when it is the one. So you find that it takes me like more other 2 hours.
But here we have one mornings.
Now it means now we are in like we are at 4 o'clock.
But it's yeah. So now my hometown is somehow warm, and so in my hometown we have many places to go, many flowers. We sell flowers to every city, every Yunnan. Yeah, Yunnan. Yeah, you can search. You can search in yeah, beautiful because we have many animals and plants. Yeah, many trees, fruits. Too much. Yeah, many. Because the weather, the temperature is good.
So sometimes you find that even after buying, again you need to look for a border to take you back at home. Some borders, those the border men who stay this side of the city, when you ask him to take you that place of where I stay, they may ask you like 50,000. So you don't go with them. Just again, you first look for those ones who stay that side where I stay, because for those ones they will take you at a cheaper price because they also stay there. So you find that at the end of it, you reach at home at around 6:30. Remember, you left there at 12 at midday, so you have gone back at 6:30.
Which food just show which item do you have in Beijing 有什么？ place food and place here good place like
So for you, for how long and what distance do you think that when the product I need is at that distance, and the time can you put in to go and acquire that product that you need? The truth is, for me, if it is 2 hours, I can put in those 2 hours and go and get the product, because sometimes you find that those people who are nearer to us, they have products that we don't want. So if it is 2 hours to go, I can put in that time to go there. To go alone 2 hours, yes, I can put in 2 hours to go alone. But as long as I get what I want, instead of buying from nearer to the place where I stay, and yet they do not have the product that I need. So how about the transport? How much can you put in to acquire those inputs? How much are you able? For me, if I can put in 20,000, it's better. But now, because I buy most of the things at once, different things, you find that they asked me more money. It's more than 20. Oh, if now we can, if we so now if we get a chance, I pray that we get a chance, and a good branch is brought to our place. Then that one I may not be putting much money, but since it's not there, I can be able to put in 20,000. For that one, I can say it is better. But they always ask us more than 20,000.
Okay, so the next is delicious food 美食。哈哈，有什么美食？which delicious food do we have here? Yeah. And then good or
So when you are buying those inputs, do you always pay cash or you always buy on credit? I always pay cash because if God gives me the chance and I get good deals from my plantations, there is no way why I can't put some money aside for the inputs, because even those ones in the group, you cannot always go there and borrow money from them all the time. So I always prepare myself and put some money aside at the end of the season. Yeah, when I have when I reap and then sell the products, I always keep some saving, but purposely for the inputs. So I buy in cash.
And then we put monthly for 1000. This one is for like a
So I go and pay. They give me my receipt.
in this country you must you hope your country become better, right? So maybe here because it's free, right? Free is good. But in China they don't give this. So we use this one. So we get
But so how about when you don't have cash? For sure you have failed to get the cash. Is there any, can they give you the product on credit? Yeah, because now for me they trust me, so they can give me on credit, but still there is a certain level of amount of money where they don't exceed. They tell you cannot exceed this. Yeah. For example, if the product is at 200,000, they will tell you deposit this amount of money, like 30. So you don't just carry it for completely for free.
so how many food we need is depend on the weather. For instance, many weather rainy with sunshine very good. Also in China like sometimes long time no rain new. Some place long time no rain will finish.
Have you ever gotten borrowed money and you put it in farming? Yes, I put it there. Like for example, the money I get in the group, I borrow from the group, I put it there. But the money from the bank, I don't put it in farming.
Exactly. So they come like this way. Oh, I put it here. This one you can have.
But for the bank, I can't. Why? For those ones in the bank, is for those rich people. For those very, very rich people. But for the other group, I can use it to buy the inputs and put in the garden. But the bank is for those rich people. I can't.
They have different costs. The cost for office. The cost
Because for those people in the bank, when you make a loss, they cannot be patient with you. But for the people in the group, they are my people, they are our people on the village, they can be patient with you.
okay. It was cost to me. I'm I don't know how about the country located, right? Okay, maybe this province is something. Maybe here no raining. We need also no food. So we need Africa you give us some food. So from
Because for the circle, for them they can be patient with you, but those ones in the bank, even when you have made a loss, they will still need their money. So what I do, I don't always go to them. Yeah.
We have different area. This one is like a control food, another one control money, another one control like a breed, breeder, I think, and different. So you come here, Put that. And here is like put 당구루. Outside is sugar. Sugar for you is water. Like sugar is one and water is two.
So where you buy those inputs, well, sometimes you have money, you pay cash. Sometimes you don't have money, you get on credit. So do you have suppliers whom you buy where you buy when you have cash, and those ones where you buy when you want on credit? No, for me I always use one person. When I have the money, I pay in cash. And when I don't have the money, I explain to him that I don't have money, I need credit.
Sorry. What's yeah, yeah. Sorry. Okay, then you can put the fruit like strawberry, like orange, and every fruit that you want to put together, and then you let it drop in that sugar water. And you put inside of cold water. Okay, now it's thick. Outside is sugar. Yeah, outside is soft, the sweet. Yeah, delicious. But I think if once you're here, like expensive because here sugar is expensive, right?
Uh, for those, I don't have those people who I go and they completely give me
Yeah, but
things on the credit. But this one, the one I always buy from, he can give me those inputs. For example, like for 100,000. He gives me and he tells me you'll pay later. So for example, this one where I buy always the seeds and the fertilizers, and the drugs. For that one, he can even be patient with you. He tells you, you go and use the products, the inputs. When maybe you are selling your agricultural products, then you come and pay the money. Or when you get a chance and you get the money before 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 the reaping season, so you can still come and pay the money. And because he knows that even the next season you are coming back, that's why he is always patient with us. But we also don't want him to make losses, because when you don't go there and pay the money, it means that next season when you have the same challenge, he will not welcome you. Then you will not find where to go. So that's why you always go and pay. You pay his money at you pay his money either within the season or at the selling season.
Boss maybe like 10,000.
So what you mean, you pay after reaping, and then others you pay slowly by slowly during the season? Yeah, that's what we do.
Because they are like no, not like that. They are it's in your country. Yeah, in my country, this religion is not allowed. Like only others, like Catholic, so that religion they arrest you. So you have to stay outside. Also our
Now, like for the example of the coffee takes a long time. So what he does, he cannot give you he cannot wait for until you start reaping. For the coffee, he tells you can be paying slowly by slowly in installments. But for the onions, he can tell you'll pay after selling, because he knows that onions takes a short time.
because potato is small, but the like you don't divide. Yeah, so gampang. Susah. But for my coffee, but my like a truck, just when you go like this, you can move. Yeah, no time, no time. Like here you go yeah, because now many people come and travel here, so many all of them use car. So because most of people they want to use car because you see, if I use train, I come here, I come to train station, right? Then I need to take taxi. They know it's convenient, right? For example, if I drive car, okay, we go and we go there to hotel. Okay, we stay here. Next day I go there, and I can from this place to another place. Then I can put everything.
Now,
But if
how about if
I'm lucky,
the season has begun, yet you have not yet sold the products? What you always do to get the inputs to so that you can start the new season. So what I always do, I go to that man, to my man. So I tell him, you give me like 1 month. You give me the products, then the inputs I go and put in. After 1 month, I'll be paying back. Then another thing, now for example, this time I have coffee. So I have coffee and I have gotten some money this season. So what I do, I can take like 200,000 to him when I'm not buying anything. I just tell him, you keep for me that money. So when the time reach and the season is beginning and I don't have anything, I don't have money, what I do, I go back to him and I tell him, so the other money that I told you to keep for me, you give me this and this. Yeah, I start from that money that I always keep. I always keep with him.
and also there are many different type of job. Different type of job. If you like to say, I have
So I always do that to keep money with him, because I know you have people will have a lot of challenges. So I mean, you may try to keep the money and you end up using it.
but the salary is somehow low. It's easy to get. Salary is somehow low, but you see in Beijing, if your salary is
Have you ever heard about the insurance of
because
the farmers insurance? Yes, I have ever heard about the farmers insurance, but for me, I have never used it.
the beginning will be if you want buy one house expensive because that's the limit the place of buying your car because they think here not too much money. So here,
For me, I've never used it. I think it is for rich people, for those very, very rich people.
no, rich house. Yeah, you see also different salary. So if your salary is low, but you rent house expensive. Yep. So if you want to get rich, some people they choose somehow car. But if you want,
So, do you think that insurance helps a farmer? I have to first know what does insurance
I think
always about, what is inside there, before I can tell you whether it is helping or not helping. So you don't know that it helps the farmer.
some farmers advise to
But insurance, of course, it will help you. It helps you.
say because you remember because because some farmers neither close nor hot.
Yeah, it can help you, I think. But for me, I've never used it. So I have heard of it, but I've never used it.
Clear. Good knowledge. Okay.
We find that it's hard to find a farmer having insurance.
Okay, so 有点想去北京的 I want to travel in travel to Beijing in September. 想去
So in your smartphone, what do you have? Which apps do you have? Apart from mobile money, what do you have? So I have WhatsApp and Facebook
exchange. Kampala is the capital
and
of
other normal apps.
坎帕拉是乌干达的首都。什么什么 store 什么什么 the name below.
Of those ones, do you have any app that you use when you are buying those agricultural products, agricultural inputs?
also you can see 坎帕拉有很多名胜古迹。Also you can see 坎帕拉有很多景点，例如巴拉巴拉对不对？然后 also you can introduce the dishes， 也有很多美食。You can see 坎帕拉有很多美食，例如握手、炸椒皮。
Maybe when I have grown those onions and they have reached a stage of selling, so I can take a pic and post it, because I know maybe someone may be attracted to it and then ask how much are you selling the onion. But still I don't usually use it because I sell my products from the garden. Maybe when the season they have not gone on well, that's when I decide to post. But usually the season when it goes on well, I sell from the garden.
So have a master is 过年 become village and bring harvest. So people feared. People fear that older men come this village and say,
So how do you see using an app and your phone? How do you see it better than visiting the shop itself?
过年 fears about it. So I know that master. So the master fear about the red color and the fireworks. Yes, fireworks. And so people, first fireworks.
Yeah, the app might help you, but not as such, because sometimes you may find someone who will say, I'll bring for you the product at your place, and then that person they leaves you from the transport. But again you find that person he'll bring for you the product which is not good. And maybe you ask for a different product, that person brings you another product yet again. So what I do, I just pay the transport and I go on the shop myself and buy what I want when I'm seeing it. So what you mean, for you it is easier for you to go and buy those products yourself? Yeah, it is easier for me to go there myself.
Also like write plastic words and to write paper and put here. And then also they put like they cut the paper. Can you give us the real ones? Yeah. Yeah, it's like the photo. But they cut the different say flower or some animal. They put it on the window. So this one is 春节 review. And next one is 端午节。
So how do you use the phone when you are making orders? So what I do, I always send audios, and I always send an audio to the supplier, or I take a photo of the input that I want, so I send it to him via the phone, maybe WhatsApp. Then I explained to him about that photo through the voices, and yeah, that's what I do. That's what I always do to make orders.
Apparently they say no, we don't want, and then they can go another city. So
So when that person has what I have asked for, yeah, he brings it and I pay him. But what he himself has posted, I don't always trust. Yeah, I don't always trust what they have posted themselves. It's me who gives them what I want. So if they don't have what I want, I always go by myself.
so yeah, he's sad because his conscience is broken. So he's very sad, and just going to the river. So people is really he's very loyal official, right? Because he said my country broken, so I will also die with my country. Yeah, so he's a loyal official. So he wants to marry with me. So he also abandon his body, bury his body in the fan. But they come back. So it's in the fan. So they left some rice, some fruits to let him.
So how do you see, if you give you that app, may it help you, or you see as if it won't help you? I see it may be helpful to me. For example, for you, your products that you gave me are very good products. The few that I have used, for example, the one I used during coffee planting in my coffee, the yields were much better compared to the previous. So for you, when you give me that app, I can use it. I see it is helpful because it will direct me on what to do. It will show me what to do. So is there an occasion that happened when you made an order through the phone and that person brought you something different or something fake? Has it ever happened to you? Yes, it has ever happened, not once, not twice, many times. Yeah, people, we send them different inputs, or for example a different sprayer, or a different bomber sprayer, or a different drug. You find that that person has brought you something totally different, not exactly what you sent for. Yeah, it has ever happened. So how did you go about it? So because for me, I don't want losses. What I do when this person I have sent brought me something different, then I go back with him to the place where he has got the input from. So when those people can accept to take it and we add them some money so that they can give me exactly what I wanted, they take it. But if they refuse, I just count it as a loss.
Very fast. The flowers. Very good. Do you know as gunpowder in Chinese we invent this one, but another country didn't make. But in China they make fireworks. So that time, like Chinese
So have you ever bought any product that is expired and then someone explains to you that it will work?
people don't have because China is big, right? Money and something, so they want to come and to eat money.
Yes, I have ever bought it.
So yes, you have done, but that time because the emperor is so arrogant. You think we are so rich, we are like so excellent, so we don't need payment with we are losers. So but they divide us, put us. And so that time, another country British, they sell drugs to China. So many the army need drugs, and because like this.
So the last time when I bought an input, it was a drug that I was supposed to use it to spray in my plantation, and it was expired. But what I did, I never took it back. But again, I never went back to buy from that place because I just knew that those people they are selling expired drugs.
Cost a lot of money. And instead some illegal documents. Use them. Yeah. So the next one is different. You remember last time I told you how about the development of Chinese practice. So I am shoot here. So the next one is printing technology. Technology. Before just write by hand. Because if I want to sell this book, right? I don't want to. I want to sell. What I do for what? You put on
Apart from those people of the shop,
free.
which other means do you always use to say that you get those products? Apart from those ones of the shops, what I always do, I use your staff, Patrick.
Slowly, and I pay a lot of money. So after they put some wood, small. Okay, I just write word. And I start with knife. Yeah, then I put some ink like this one, like pen. Then I can finish the book, right? But it's also more convenient because you see, I just put one wood, so I just can. If I want another book, I need to again, right? Another wood. So how can I do? I couldn't see. This one is faster. It's much more.
Uh,
And this one like
yeah, we always use Patrick, your staff member, because for him he always comes and teach us what to do, how to apply fertilizers, and other things to do about spray. And he tells us about the different products. Maybe once in a year, that government worker from the division, he or from the parish, he sometimes also come and organize some teaching there occasions, and we learn. But he usually, it takes long. In a year he can appear like once. But it is the companies that always help us, most especially your company EGT. For example, if at this time you meet an expert, agriculture expert, the agriculture guider, what question can you ask him? The first thing I ask, how do I know a fake? How do I know a fake drug and an original drug? Another thing, I can ask him about the insurance. Where can I get the insurance services from? Then another thing, I can also ask him about the market, but I usually not go much about the market, but still I can ask him about the market of my products. I usually want to know how can he support me on how to get the market of my products, most especially the onions. For the coffee, the market is always there. Uh, what are you worried about the next season? The truth is, what I'm worried about is the market, because this previous season it has not gone on well, because after calculating my inputs, I found that it did not work well, cause now how you see if you can only have a profit of 400,000 on the whole season, it's like as if you have worked for nothing. Now the issue is about the market, because that previous season they always tell us that now Kenya has also produced now, has supplied the onions. That's why the market is now low. Yeah, the market is now, yeah, that's why the market is low. So when Kenya supplies the onions and they put it into the market, so the prices goes low, and we find that we don't have any way out. So we find ourselves getting small profits. So what I'm worried about is the prices. So is there any service that you think that when they give you that service, so if someone can provide you with that service, it will help you to improve on your yields on your work? Yes, it is there. For example, if God helps me and I can get a very big tank where I can keep water. For example, because for example, during the dry season, if you can grow your onion and you are able to look after them and the yield, there is a lot of money there. But The challenge comes that you need water. You need too much water to water those onions so that they can grow well. So if someone can provide me with a very big tank, I can collect that water during the rainy season, and during the dry season for me I can be planting, and then water. I do the watering so that I can be getting much much profits during the dry season. Then another service you need. Then another service, of course it is about the drugs. So if someone can give me a hand on the drugs, that is also good. And also another thing, to someone to continue teaching us on how to do, on how to plant, how to apply fertilizers, and different knowledge about agriculture. Because sometimes you find that you don't know the drugs, how you use it, which time and how do you use it. So if someone can give us a hand on the drugs, that one we would have made it. We will have made it. If someone gives us a hand on drugs, we will have made it. So also giving us more knowledge about which drugs exactly. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Our interview has stopped from there. Thank you for the time you have given us, and I hope that what we have shared will be helpful to the farmers, to the rest of the farmers in the country. Nice time.